think that's good, right? What do y'all think? That's pretty damn good. You just get a little surprise with the color I choose. I think that'll work out with our new overlay. And let me take in, excuse me for any mic noise. Bring in my, how does this, I use this drawing tablet every day and every day it's so fucking dusty. I know part of the dust that's on everything right now isn't actually dust, it's all makeup from, yeah, it was yesterday, God. I just slept all of today. I wanted to, I didn't ever get any fucking time because of all the rest that I needed in between, like gigs and shit. But I never got the time to finish her line work. I wanted to do that off stream and then do the coloring on stream. But my plan now, sorry, it's my meds. My plan now is to do line work on stream because we basically are at that point where we could just straight up do line work. For the next hour, I think that'll be enough time to finish that or get very close. And then off stream, I will finish the rest of this with colors and a background or something related to what we watched. And I will post that on Blue Sky for anybody that follows me on there. I take a swig of water. Oh my god. I believe that game timed perfectly. I was worried it was gonna be too short because I thought we were also gonna do the skull mask lady, and I thought we were like at the very end of Samuel's section. I was just like shocked. Ooh, let's see. I brought a ton of snacks with me today. I was not sure. On days where I rest, I'm really tired, so I have to eat like really heavy meals. Like my rest days after doing a gig or something, or doing what I did yesterday where I was like up walking for 5 hours straight. The next day I allow myself to eat like really heavy food because normally, one, I don't want heavy food. But the Ren Fairy took it out of me, so I ate some heavy meals today already. But I brought my little plum green tea, 2 oranges. They're just mandarin oranges, so they're not like huge. A little pudding cup that is banana pudding, flavor pudding. And I brought one of my favorite chips. I don't eat chips a lot. They're not like actually my favorite food, but I love any that are fishy flavored, just because I love a lot of fish flavors. But these are the seaweed and salt potato chips by Calbee. I'm sure you've all seen them if you've gone into any Asian store in the snack section. They're like one of the few snacks I ever buy at the Asian stores. You might hear me crunching and munching on these things for a minute here, because they are at the point where because I just don't eat a lot of chips either. When I'm not one of those people that eats a full bag of chips. And I say one of those people, except that isn't like 90% of Americans. I normally only want like a few chips at a time. Unless like, if I'm to the point where I'm like, oh, I've eaten more than like 10 chips, I'm like, I probably just need to eat a meal. Like, I'm probably just hungrier than I thought. Yeah. Which I think is a good way to go into snacking. I just ate a full meal right before this, but hypoglycemia and the energy it's gonna take me to do anything with my brain, and then over this stream, and then also with drawing, just have to snack a lot. I think there wasn't anything more we wanted to add to her, was there? Her hands. We will be workshopping her hands. That might be something I have to change after stream or work on after stream, because it'll just, I don't want to waste too much time. We got it set to GPIM, we got her stabilization up. I don't need my stabilization to be at 100, but I just like it. I don't know. It's not necessary. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes it makes things faster. The only thing here is I feel like the foreshortening on this arm is a little rough. Okay, I was like, wait a second. Can y'all see my pin? Yeah, the foreshortening on that arm is not quite right. This was... Didn't we have our reference here? Yeah. Sometimes it's interesting seeing real images that sometimes like fake because of stuff like foreshortening. Just because, where do I want to start? I suppose the mask. But because it's just a real image, you're like, okay, that's real. That, you know, that works. I think what I need to do is bring it under like that. Hold on, I might actually start kind of over there. Because yeah, it looks like arm actually goes like this more so. I'll make a note of that in my sketch layer real quick. Oh, forgot that it's not the way it needs to be. But anyway, that should be enough to remind me of that if I don't get to that point somehow today. I don't, you know, when you draw, especially when you're like me and you have ADHD, just no fucking ability to conceptualize time. You just don't pay attention to how long it takes you to do stuff. So like, I could not give you an accurate guesstimate at all of how long it takes me normally to do line work. And maybe I shouldn't have started on an area like this. It's gonna be so delicate in terms of like making sure the lines are really good, because I haven't done anything to just like working out my wrist real quick. Like I've just been clicking and not doing anything with my hands literally like all day, so I'm like I haven't warmed up my hand at all. And I think I like how this looks in a way, but zoomed out that won't look right. And it doesn't match the spacing on that side, which again, I said during the last time that I was working on her, it doesn't matter. This is not paid for. But I'm just somebody who cares about quality a lot, you know, and it can annoy the shit out of me when I back out of something and I'm like, those are clearly very uneven, you know, like I lose it, and like I have to fix this. And you just rather do it in the beginning instead of later. And sometimes a fix means that you have to fix a lot of other fucking things about something. She's also got her head turned a little bit to the side. That's what I was aiming for with how this looked. So, don't know, there can be little annoyances like that. I really like, let me, I was gonna say, I want to actually copy and paste this, because I really want this to look even. Stuff like this, it's like, I don't like using the word bulge to describe it. But I don't know what else, like a rounded thing that has to be really fucking even like that is really good. Now, holding down shift, for people that don't know in Clip Studio, it just lets it go completely across, like they're completely in line, I mean. So that can kind of help us gauge where this should be if I was having trouble before. Or if something is not like this drawing where she's not got her head turned, like if she's completely facing us flat on. Now, I think I do need to tilt it just a bit. I just wanted to make sure they were the same amount of like width and like volume kind of. So that's why that copy and paste is good. You could see that this one goes out way further, not way further anymore, but when I first started turning it, it went out a lot further. Okay, so my original, I think I did the same thing when I originally set this up, is that I copied and pasted it. Which is good. Just, yeah, something a little more even is good. Oh, just like that. Merge those. There we go. Thinking about masks are such a cool fucking thing. I mean, Majora's masks are cool because they're magical masks, but they do represent how there's so many different style of mask and like reasons. They don't, I mean, they have reasons that aren't logical a lot of the time for why something's made. Like Kamaro's mask is like kind of like a death mask in a way, because he's a dead guy, and people would make masks of dead people, but they'd use their real face, and it was because they missed seeing their faces, you know, like before we had photos of people like that and everything. But there's tons of mask and media that's oh god, throughout history that have like similar, where there's just like these very interesting purposes behind them. But death mask are, I would say, the one people are most interested in, because people are usually pretty interested in death. I'm gonna try not to erase my lines too much until, yeah, because the sketch will fuck me up and this will look weird. But actually it was correct. Mother, I hate, this is the hard eraser. This is not the vector line. It shouldn't be working like this. This is why I end up having to use soft eraser a lot on vector layers, because that shit can get annoying. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to do before I forget was soften these up a little bit. Something like this is meant to show, yes, like a line in terms of like the 3D-ness of this object, but not that there's like a full-on like actual proper, you know, like massive line there. Same thing with the nose here. It's just to show the shape, but not that there's like a heavy line. I don't know how to describe that actually, other than that. At least that's how I do, like, for my art style, for stuff that's like cartoon or anime. Of course, I do like to do something that's more similar. I grew up doing a lot of pen and ink work, and like calligraphy styles, and like with traditional drawing, I mean. That was something I was very interested in and always loved how it looked. There we go, a sweet cat's eye on a bunny. Anyway, I always loved doing pen and ink stuff. I thought it looked really cool. I liked the black and white, and that's it's definitely bled over into the way that I like to draw with anime. But it can be hard because I'm not drawing traditionally, obviously, so showing that kind of style graphically is a bit hard to do without making it look too realistic, instead of showing how it's supposed to still look cartoony. Because I have a goofy sense of humor, and I like putting humor into most of my stuff, and sometimes it's very unintentional. And I'm also just like very whimsical person, I would say, in a lot of ways. In my life, like, not even, again, not fully intentionally, but just kind of how I operate sometimes. Okay, motherfucker. Is this? No. It is. Okay, I did do this pretty damn evenly the first time I did this. Like, just trying to get it perfect. I love that you guys can now see me. Probably what I do is tilt my head. I wasn't sure if the sketch was perfect. Anyway, I want to make sure that like my anime and manga kind of style, whatever you'd call it, is a little cartoony to match my sense of humor, my sense of storytelling. Like, I think all of that's very important with your art style, because if it doesn't match, then it can come off poorly, or just like come off really like, what's right? It can make people feel uneasy about it, or, you know, it just doesn't match up like properly. Like, obviously shonen and shoujo have very specific art styles, or like similar art styles for a reason. Not to each other, I mean, but like shonen is like, if you don't know, just the oh my god, Japanese word for basically like boys manga or boys anime, whatever, which anybody can be interested in. I was always more interested in shonen as a young girl. Obviously I'm a trans man now, so I'm not making a great case, but and shoujo is more like for young girls, but it's basically like romance. And shonen is stuff like My Hero Academia, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, all that, where it's action, basically. I feel like something is off with this. Is it just that this isn't turned in enough? But this one looks genuinely longer there. Hold on. It may just be that I should have just followed my sketch. Anyway, because of that, you see these more harsher lines with shonen, and maybe darker darks when it comes to some of the line width. And then same thing with like backgrounds, especially, is another big one where they differ. Do I want to draw the eyes yet? No, I don't think so. But shoujo is all like very light lines, a lot of thinness, the way the girls' faces and like neck and everything, like their bodies are like super thin but have huge eyes. And it's because they're trying to be really expressive with their faces, because so much of shoujo with romance is like emotional stuff that's going on. It's like social cues and everything need to be shown through it. So they draw like that, like more like Sailor Moon in a way. Sailor Moon is a good example. Like magical girl anime in general is kind of a mix of shonen shoujo. So you see a little bit of both. Same thing with like Madoka Magica, whatever. It's too long. But stuff like Ranma 1/2 is another one that I think of. It's partially just like that it's got a really good, it's got a really good 80s style. Where you do get that blend of that. Yeah, absolutely not on this level. I was like, that is not right. Way too long, and they don't look like... That's the other thing you can do, is draw like a straight line and see, like, oh, this is the meeting point. And then just very easily with a vector line, get rid of that shit. It's 10 times easier using a vector layer. But, I don't know if this is... people are getting what I'm saying in terms of describing these art styles. But I feel like sometimes I'm maybe not doing a good enough job without visual help. That's kind of what you need to describe an art style in a way. I feel like this arm is going to be going slightly down a little before this. But this one isn't right. Yeah. It kind of needs to be that this neck is shown out a little bit longer. The shoulder is actually raised up. They're kind of in like this, like, well, anyway. So like, yeah, the eyes, just look at the shonen eyes, like Bleach for instance, again. Naruto's a little more cartoony, but that's because it's sense of humor, and obviously Bleach, when you see them in like a comedic moment, their facial expressions and their eyes and stuff, like maybe they get bigger, they get less detailed, but whenever it's a serious moment, their eyes are like very angular, a lot of like dark lines and stuff like this, where there's this heavy line weight going on in the corners of things. And yeah, that's the best way I can fucking describe it. God, awful at that. And if I use pictures, that would probably help. I would like to make her mouth look like, is she not big enough or something? May have need to have started this out bigger. Well, the good news is we can make it all much bigger. And it won't affect the lines. The sketch will look fucked up, but the vector layer should be fine. That's the best part about it. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I probably should have just started this off on a bigger sheet in terms of the detail like this. I wasn't planning to go super into detail, and then I was like, oh no, this is actually a really cute one I want to draw. I love little heart-shaped lips as well. I like doing that in drag. This is sometimes when I'm doing sometimes a lot of the time when I'm designing characters for like my comic, or just like drawing a character out or other means or whatever, and I haven't been given like super strict details and like the design like that somebody's given me, I do tend to make them look a little more like the way I make my drag makeup look. It's just because that's what I like in a face. In terms of like eyebrow shapes or mouth shape, like this is like how I do my lipstick more often. Of course, the thing with drag makeup that's interesting that I'll show here is that you have like the line of your mouth, right? And you're supposed to, like, you have your corners, and you're supposed to have your lips not go beyond your corners usually, at the very end corner, because it can look really weird. Obviously, some people draw it way over, and you are supposed to draw your makeup over the top in general in drag, but also overline your lips. It's very like typical, very traditional drag, and I love traditional drag, and I follow a lot of the rules of that. What is it? Fucking God. Can't focus. I need to eat more food. 1 second. But I also like to really show the Cupid's bow with my lips. So sometimes when I'm overdrawing my lips, it might be more overdrawn on the top and the bottom, a lot more so than it is anywhere near on the sides. Partially because for my lips, that just doesn't look right. Yeah, I took all my meds. I keep thinking of it and like being like, yes, you did, and then forgetting. I'm clearly still very tired from yesterday. There's just a lot. The fireworks especially, I already talked about this earlier, I was never huge on fireworks. For those that are only watching this Inktober stream, I was talking about the Ren Fair earlier. And like fireworks at the end of it. Never liked them since I was a kid, but I would go, so we would often do them. I would just stay inside the house if somebody was doing fireworks. It's like, absolutely not, I'm not coming outside. I hate 4th of July, sorry. All those people out there who think it's a good day to celebrate America's freedom, but you're causing anyone with PTSD, especially veterans obviously, to just relive horrible things and have an awful time. What is the way we want these eyes to look? Whoops. I might just do this general shape at first, and come back to this. I was thinking of the way Pokemon kind of does theirs with, like a flat... You get a flat or like a rounded line, and then this. That's the way I often like to do mine. And the lower the line is, the more sultry it looks, obviously, but these two blend, like these are the same color. But she's dancing. I want her to look sultry, but I'm not positive how I want the eyes to look yet. I'll think about that one later. Anyway. But we would often be lighting up a bunch of fireworks on my dad's family's ranch. And so I would go, we had a bunch of, like, not sheepdogs, not like cattle dogs or anything. We had Great Pyrenees, which are like some of the biggest dogs out there. So they are just like, but they're also super kind. They are really good at fending off stuff like wolves, because they are nocturnal. So they watch over all of your animals outside. Like, I don't remember ever hearing of them having animals get killed, because they had like 3 or 4 of these dogs. And they had, I think they had a couple other dogs that were like different breeds, but those are their main dogs that like stayed around at night and watched everything. And during the day, they would all go and like hang out, like just do whatever they wanted. And they were just super kind and sweet. And they could take like a hit, like from the animals, I mean, but also like they had like set up a swing set for the kids there, because my cousins lived over there. So they're like, well, just put like a trampoline on the ranch and everything. So it's always super fun visiting, but I remember one day I was like on the swing set and one of the dogs just like, his name was Zeus, like he was the biggest of them. He ran up right in front of me and I couldn't like stop myself like in time. And so I just like hit him with like both legs basically, like all in his like face and chest, and he didn't move. Like he was just fine. He was just so happy to see me. But anyway, so the dogs of course also hated the fireworks. And what they would do is they had a little area that they would run off to that was like a good enough distance away where they all felt comfortable, and they would lay down in like a big, you know, like a pile together to comfort each other. And like my family was just like, yeah, go lay over with the dog, like go over with the dogs, like that way we know you're safe, you know, but you don't have to hear the fireworks. I was like, all right, cool, because I couldn't really be inside and not hear them because they were lighting them off close to their place they lived in on the ranch, but their place was a like a double wide, so just like it wasn't quieter, you know, inside. But yes, so what ended up happening was I would just go and lay with the dogs every time that they would light fireworks, which was very often. But those are kind of like a sweet memory for me, was like literally having that. I think that was my first kind of experience with like any kind of support animal in a weird way. I've never had an emotional support, just support for my disability, but I grabbed this. I think it just, because it definitely needs to, it definitely needs to be moved forward to accommodate. I think that looks better. It still looks short in a way, but like not foreshort and short. Hold on. Let me just... Thank you. I need to bring her arm out this way. Should I just like go ahead and do that? I think that might work. Because the other thing we can do is mess with the perspective, of course, when we're making the line work. What we can do is actually have her hand more over here, you know? Just show the fingers like this, but it can be really hard to draw the fingers that way and just take up a stupid amount of time. all I was gonna do was just, this is I just, oh, I've got the other layers, so I can't fucking, yeah, get rid of this. Make my life slightly simpler. Yeah, that was like my first instance of realizing that, like, oh, this is nice, like, this is great having this, like, this physical thing that feels like it's protecting me, like, and I can trust, because it's just an animal. Domesticated, obviously, but my dad's mom was super sweet and treated all the animals really well, and they were all really sweet in turn. Like, it's just a ranch. She wasn't like a ranch where they, I think I did on soft, damn. It wasn't a ranch where they killed any of the animals. It wasn't like a beef ranch. Like, everything there was like kept alive. I think maybe sometimes she sold the pigs, but she just took really great care of everything for the most part. And she had like all kinds of stuff, peacocks and emus. She just really liked animals, and it's kind of like her passion. I don't know, she like never fucking talked almost ever to anybody. Why is it erasing I have it on white? Oh god. That's gonna be fun to deal with later if I just drew white in on everything. Probably did. Let me make my background a different color. Oh, or that. No, okay. Looks like I didn't draw anything in white. She was her and my dad's side, they're all like immigrants, so they were nice and everything. I just genuinely don't know what her life was like before coming, like, at all, basically. And like, she liked animals, so I was like, did she just live on like a ranch, and so she's kind of like, for her that was like childhood, and like she was able to do that in her adult years, and that's what she did. Like, I just know nothing about that side. I did not visit often. When we did, it was like we would visit for an entire summer or something, but like I just didn't get to know her, even though I was probably the one who spent the most time with her, and she always really liked me and gave me like a bunch of her pearls and stuff when she had passed. That's like what I was given. I don't know why I'm getting into this section of life. Why did I try to move that? Stupid sometimes. There we go, that's what I meant. I wanted to get a good basis for jewelry and about where I think it should be. So if that is where her jewels are going to be, her hand definitely needs to be moved forward more. Okay. Sorry. Should be good. Okay. La-di-di-da. I need to... Actually, this would be easier to do it here. Soft eraser. Thank you. That one is pretty much where it needs to be, but I'm just gonna give it a flatter base to look like a bangle. Anyway. Yeah, so I don't know what the fuck are you. Why? Why would you do this? What is your game? Is it because I put it over the top? No, it's just... I'm just gonna keep them separate for a second here before I draw. I'll draw lines. I think probably what it is, I need to draw some lines of where her hand's gonna be coming out of this. It's just confused. What they said about me. No, actually, I don't think I had anybody ask me if I was confused whenever I was like announcing that I was gay. Not gay. I announced that I was dating a girl. So I don't think gay is exactly the term. But again, sorry, I can't think of anything when I'm trying to like draw a fucking hand of all things. I need to draw that the wrist is coming out. I wanted it to look like the bangle wasn't like fully at like over her wrist like I normally would do if the character was in like a stiff motion, but she's dancing, so I kind of wanted it to look like the bangle was like shaking up and down almost, you know. It's also in movement. So something like this. That's why I was like, I need to see the bottom half of that if I'm gonna draw her hand with it. Really, I just need to draw the hand. But I think my I guess she's my grandma. Jesus Christ. If fuck? Oh, that's this one. Duh. Why would you do this? I like how this looks. Keep it that way. Why are you doing this to me? What's your problem? I'm just gonna draw the one here. Fuck it. Maybe that'll get it. Get its fucking head in the game, Troy Bolton. Ooh, studio, what is your problem? Just gonna draw from memory. I was hoping to keep it because I knew that meant that it would look really symmetrically correct, but whatever. Again, I'm not being paid, and even if I was, they wouldn't notice. Why do I worry about the things that I worry about? Okay. Do people normally stream art angrily? Because I might be one of the angriest artists that I know. It's like the only time I experience remote anger is whenever something's like not working out with like something like artistically. I'm like, oh, I'm just like, it's so like, I'm not even like pissed. I'm just like annoyed. I'm like, why would this be happening? Why is this happening to me? I did nothing to hurt you, art. Besides drawing poorly at times in my life, maybe, I don't know. I haven't drawn poorly since like even freshman year of high school. Because I drew every day growing up, so I should be better at it than I am, I think. But like, there's people I'll see online like, I've been drawing for 2 years, and I'm like, oh, fuck me, am I right? I was like, what am I, you know, like, what have I been practicing that means that you're drawing this much better than me? Drawing my whole life, but I've also only been drawing my whole life in traditional art, so it's kind of rewiring my brain to draw anime, so I try to give myself a fucking break with that shit, but god, it's fucking hard sometimes seeing people drawing so well in a style that you just feel like you suck at when in comparison. But the other thing is, a lot of the times what I'm drawing, it just takes me like a day to draw it the way I'm drawing it, and they're taking like a week to draw it, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's... And they're just like, it's just like line work wise or whatever, and I'm not saying like there's anything better or worse about either of us for that. I'm actually mostly saying that I'm worse because my little ADHD brain doesn't want to spend a week drawing one fucking drawing, when in reality, this shit would probably look better if I did that. Well, be it compared to the other fingers. Nothing wrong with the original finger I drew here in terms of its thickness. I think it was just that it didn't look right. 1, compared to the thumb, and 2, compared to the rest of her hand. Well, that is some kind of hand. Look, I'm just gonna keep going with it, and I'm gonna let it happen. I want to have that one not showing, and then have the middle finger kinda... I think I'll do that. I'm just trying... Jesus, hell, it was like a McDonald's french fry. I'm just trying to have our hand look like it's very much in motion. This needs to just have more weight on the bottom, though. The only problem with that is that it can make it look like it is over the top of the finger in front of it. Need to be careful about that. Fingers are every artist's nightmare, usually. But I do traditional drawing of hands and like feet and everything, I do perfectly fine. Like I've drawn it enough with hands mostly, and feet are kind of just like shorter hands. Like all the knuckles and everything are built the same. Honestly, feet are easier when it comes to the toe because it's just like, yep, you got the one big toe and then everything else is like a smaller version of that. Like it's very, very similar. And obviously your hands are similar shapes, but your toes I feel like are way more similar. I've rarely ever had to draw toes, but I have no problem drawing them looking very realistic. Just because I feel like there's something easier to them. The hard part for me for the foot is all of the actual like the arch section and everything, and the heel to ankle. Like all of that for me is so much harder than if I have to draw the toe section. Like this is a foot, yes, I can draw that, but then like actually drawing it like in a shoe or anything, like I don't know why that's so hard for me. Like I feel like I'm always fucking that up. It's like the small details of it that get me. Like this area, she could be showing the bottom of her shoe, but I feel like I actually should just have it look like this. Like I don't think I need to show the bottom because it makes it look like she's twisting her ankle out more than the rest of her leg is twisted out, in my opinion. I don't know. Or it's drawing shoes is hard as fuck, but it's just because there's so many ways that all of that can be moved around and twisted and fucking, what's the word? Shoes themselves are just really complex, even though I love them. Like I like buying shoes for drag. Like I love all of my little I love getting platform shoes. So a lot of my drag is very 70s. I love stuff like that, but it's just not something I enjoy drawing very much. And I think it's just something like there's certain things on the body, or at least like parts of the body, I mean, or like clothing where, like shoes, for instance, where it's really like small details can make it really easy to tell that something doesn't look right in comparison. I think actually this heel is in the wrong place is what my problem is. Like this needs to be shifted completely over to actually support the underside of her heel like a normal fucking shoe. Because I was like, there's something wrong with where this is appearing. It's too far out. And that may have been what it was on the image. I don't know, or I just drew it poorly based off the image. I don't even remember how I drew it. Shoes are probably one of the few things that I commonly just like trace over a real image of a shoe. Like, not completely, but that's what I do to build the base of it. The other way to fix some of how weird this looks, I think, would be for me to get rid of that. And this. I like drawing the little arch of where the heel comes through, but technically it doesn't appear above the shoe. It comes out below, yeah. I should have just erased this whole fucking line. Anyway. What's that line? Can I erase that one without fucking up my other line? Not really, but it's better than dealing with it. I think that looks better and more accurate for a shoe. I haven't decided what that design is going to be yet. That's why I'm leaving that empty, by the way. Sorry that my mind just like goes all, you can tell that I have ADHD from the way that I'm like, yes, and then, oh, I don't want to do the eye yet. Oh, the hand's okay. Oh, let me do the shoe. Like, I normally try to start at certain areas where I'm like drawing most of the face, and then I like redo my sketch for my hair and make it its own hair layer, you know. I do have a certain way that I go about things, typically, but if I'm doing something like this where I have to talk during it, it's not gonna go well. Who is sending me? Okay, no, I'm fine. It's a fucking Instagram drag chat. I'm gonna be in a Wicked musical, but it's a drag show version, obviously, of Wicked. I think I have everything I need for it, but the only person setting it up gave us like 2 days to put in a what's it called, like a Google form to fill out to say like what all stuff can you help with outside of your main like shit that you have to do, and out of all these dates before the show, when can you rehearse, and like with times and shit. I don't think any of it except like maybe when will come in the way of streaming. I genuinely, I know we're gonna have to rehearse quite a bit, but I have no idea how many times. I think they just gave us a lot of dates so that they could try to get as many people together at once as they could. But trying to get drag artists to get their shit together and fill anything out is so funny to me. I was like, you should have given them like a week and not 2 days. It's not like it's on them, like the drag performers are not filling it out. That is, they should have filled it out by now, but it's just like, that is just so common. One, for like drag shit to not start on time, no, like people not to be ready when they're there. They're not professionals, you know? They're just people. Drag queens especially. But I am somebody that's very it's very important to me to be in places on time. I'm usually somebody that gets places way too early because of that, but I'd rather just be early than late, obviously. I wouldn't also, by the way, I know her arms might look like kind of thick for an anime girl, like typical, but I wanted to show like the actress has fucking muscle on her arms, and so I kind of wanted to show that a little bit. I gave her some visible muscle there. It's not super visible here because of the angle that we're seeing her arm. So I was thinking about putting in lines, but it's hard to put in lines like that for anime without making it look like really weird. I don't know how else to describe. Like, it can look like maybe there's something wrong, or it's like where you're trying to show a vein just because it's so uncommon. So this arm might just be a little thick. I think I made that area a little too thick, though. This is an area I could show off muscle if I did this right. Like, thick to thin. And then wrist starting somewhere about here. Yeah. And trying to show elbows is another interesting thing, too. The other thing, a lot of the human body is very similar, I would say, in the way it's built. Like, again, studying anatomy helps you really understand this. But just like joints to joint, it's very similar. You're gonna have a joint where everything pinches in, and then it's gonna widen out, and then it's gonna get thin again at the next joint. And this is how your fingers work, your arms work, your legs work. Like, that's just like everything. But that's why I find areas like all of the shoulder blade area on the front and the back of anatomy, and the same thing with like the pelvic bone and everything here when you're drawing that for anything. Those are some of the areas that I find the most interesting. All the back muscles, and like, I like the ass, basically. Obviously, drawing porn commissions for people, the ass is drawn totally stupidly, but so I don't get to draw it the way I would like as often. And you also don't get to see like back muscles necessarily a lot, or definitely not to the same amount. There's not enough people asking me to draw muscle mommies, and that sucks. But I have gotten to draw them a few times and done really like realism, and people have always like whenever I like any post I've done of that, people are always kind of shocked by it. And I'm like, yes, I've told you. Like, I feel like I've told people before, I studied realism for a really long time. This is what I know and I'm good at, and I enjoy doing a lot. I enjoy drawing the human body in general. Animals are really interesting too, just because I've always loved animals growing up, like studying them and everything. I think I've probably said on stream I read all the zoology textbooks in my elementary school, like before I graduated, like easily. And it kind of like, thank God I live near a public library, because then the school was like, we don't know what to give you to read unless we want you to like reread something. Kind of, you just like read everything, or like I would just wait for new books to come into the school. But then the librarians would just order shit I didn't like. Oh, also, do we want to copy her exact dress? I wanted to. Again, I didn't want this to look exactly like hers. I just made her dress in its style to like kind of help us out. This hand's still fucked up and it's not long enough. Oh, fuck me. I keep noticing it not saying anything, but I don't like it. It's not like horrible looking, but I think for one thing, the thumb needs to start out coming out more. So there is more meat here on the thumb. But just in general, this needs to move like exactly diagonally down just a little bit more. Fingers are kind of short. Little fingers like okay. But we need to show how these muscles and bone structure are visible here. Let me just get this. Okay. And her hand is kind of tilted down, so you would see this, but you have this your big meaty claws. You have this big section of like bone and tissue and everything over here for your thumb. Opposable thumbs are a big fucking deal for a reason. And I put not enough space between it and it and her forefinger. I mean, I did draw it. It is mine in that sense, but it's just like a weird way to phrase it. Sorry. And obviously, certain angles you don't see the large amount. Oh god, that looks broken as hell. You don't see that large amount in this angle. Good god. I mean, what's happened to her thumb? It's all fucked up. I probably should have looked at the reference image. I didn't look at the reference image once while drawing this hand. That's also something I never do. Hands, I always use a reference image or a 3D model because I usually kind of, like I talked about before with using a real reference image, something that's great is to build a 3D model up off of it. Eclipse Studio has great 3D model stuff for that, and you can like save 3D models if it's like a pose that you're constantly drawing. Or like something you're constantly drawing that uses that pose, whatever. And then you can just change the camera angles up better. So it's like, I have this, you can make a specific body type even and save that. Be like, yes, the people that are into asses, this is the body type model for them. It's really ridiculous, but this is the one that works the best for everything. And then I can just change her angle or her position slightly and do different stuff with it. And that way I have some consistency and it doesn't take me as long. And I have something to base it off of. Or you can obviously look up images of people that are nude. I did draw her hands totally different. I forgot about that because the way that I did this, her hand should be twisted out this way. Oh god, I'm not gonna fuck with it. I do not want to fuck with it any more than it's been. Sorry, everyone. I've only got an hour to do her line work today, and I know I'm not gonna have enough time off stream to do anything else with it. I should have made this a whole separate thing. This doesn't look right. This one I have where it's resting on her. Maybe I could get away with just doing a curve. It'll look okay. Generally, as long as you keep the curve pretty parallel, it'll look fine. But you do have to be careful. Now, all of the jewelry, I'm setting it up as like its own blank canvas. Sorry, just picky. It's okay. But it will be changed, most likely. If I don't change it, that's just because, again, this is not a paid thing. This is just us doing some Inktober stuff and spending a little more time for funsies. Oh, fuck. I was like, that doesn't work. Ooh, okay, let's not do that. Again, this thing. Now, this could go, we could just do this, but I don't like that. I would like, again, if we had it just hanging off a little bit more and gave her some depth. The other reason is that for an ellipses, you can't have, like, something that's actually circular in real life, you can't have this fucking pinch at the ends of the corners. It won't look real. Damn, okay, let me just vector this off. I don't care enough at this point. It doesn't look good. Don't look right. Thank you. Okay. Up here. Oops. I meant to use the fucking ellipses tool. Sometimes it's just hard to get the right shape, and obviously I can modify it. I don't know why I'm struggling. It's something I shouldn't be struggling with. I think that one's right. Just do a copy and move it down. Yep, that's correct. This one was a little bit wider than the other, so I'm gonna let it, and of course our point of view of it is a little bit wider too. I'm gonna use my vector layer. Okay. My vector layer. Thank you. Maybe since it's vector, to avoid the problems I had last time, I should have just copied it all and pasted it. I might, hold on. Like, put it all together. Oh, okay, never mind. That wasn't a problem. I don't know what was going on last time. I never have had it do what it did on the other wrist, I will say. Yeah, I really somebody I just struggle a lot with drawing anime styles in comparison, though I do love it, and I love the cartooniness again. It's what is going to be the most useful for my needs to draw it the way that I draw it. I just am very particular about things and want things to look good in the way that I want it to look, but I'm just going ahead with a comic where it's looking not exactly how I want it to be yet. Just gonna, you know, kind of work through it as I work through the comic instead, and then in the future when I get to a point where I like my art style more, like it's much more like what my view is, like what I'm going for, that's when I will probably redraw like the first couple chapters or some shit. It doesn't look bad or anything right now. I know they're not all uploaded or anything, but it certainly I wouldn't say looks bad or, you know, like super unskilled. It's just not exactly where I would like it to be. His thumb is not looking quite like a thumb. It's looking a little more like a forefinger. I think I need to... I have very thin thumbs, so that is my problem when referencing my own hand for stuff sometimes. My thumb is the same width as my forefingers. It's almost not wider at all. I will say that is a problem. Some people got those crazy toe thumbs, and those are kind of scary almost. Like, how did this? Like, why does this exist? Like, what was going on with your ancestors that happened? Is that like a, you know, I don't think it's incest, but it also, like, we're in America. I'm in the South. It certainly could be. Trying to make these really make her hands look delicate as well, just like a general, what's the word? Like the way she's holding it, but also like style of them in terms of their lines to look more delicate, because she is, this style of dance is, it's not like doing something really rough with your hands. You're not like in a fist or anything. That's just like the style of dance and energy, I mean, like atmosphere that she's going for. Don't know about this one. The ring finger. It should be a little shorter. We aren't gonna see much of it, but sometimes it makes it look, yeah, looking like a steak fry. Sometimes they look overly thick, but if you do something like this, it just looks, it looks wrong as well. So sometimes if your fingers are too close together, it works really well to actually push one of the fingers outwards so that it looks more splayed out instead, so you get to see the underside of it. Looks a little more natural. It's just still looking a little too thin, sorry. Oh. Fucking fingers. About to get smashed with a hammer, and then they all gonna be looking unnatural. Okay, that's better. Then our pinky, the nice thing about a good pinky is oftentimes they're just too small to show up, so you can cover it like this, or you can erase that line slightly. Or you can have your pinky be dipping down here and make it look as if her hands are a little more three-dimensional, and that they are in an arc. But I don't think that one looks right. Oops. So I am gonna do the pinky coming out again, just a little more splayed. You just see a little bit more of it. It's okay that our pinky is visible at the bottom and looks thinner because your pinky is not a human hand. When I get when I have an actual like real life model in front of me that I'm drawing from, like a live model, I don't know why I forgot the fucking term for that. I'm a live model. Drawing hands is so much easier, and I enjoy it as long as the model doesn't fucking move. Oh my god. If you ever get into live modeling for art classes, when you're told to do a pose, hold the pose. You should have the human athleticism to stay just hold still for literally 5 minutes. Like, you're usually not holding a pose for longer than 10 minutes. And if you can't do that, do not sign up to be a live nude model. And I say this because there's a person that came into one of our art classes, and I was like, they were just pissing me off the whole time. I've like never been pissed off at a live nude model before in my life. The way I was pissed off at this person, like every other person that came in were people that are like, yeah, I do yoga, or I construct these cooler poses, or I have remote muscle in my thighs, like in my fucking hands and arms. Like, I don't know what was going on with this one person. She was the only model we had that was overweight, and so I was really annoyed because I was so excited to draw somebody with a different body shape, because the other guy that was really good that we used was a ballet dancer. Even though he didn't do it, like, I think he didn't do it anymore, because he was like studying mathematics at the school at that point. But I was so like upset also, I think, just because I was excited to draw finally like a body type that, one, is more common, and so but you don't get to see any drawings of or models of, usually because people are shy about their body, which I get, totally understandable. But this girl could not hold still at all, and I was like, why did you sign up for this? Why are we all paying for you to be the worst live model? And I'm not just talking about like she couldn't hold it for 5 minutes. She couldn't hold her hands still for even like 1 minute. She would constantly like move them, not like just jittery shakiness, but like moving it into almost a different pose. I'm like, I don't think you get, like, it wasn't a full-on different pose. Like the teacher didn't notice and say anything. I was like, I don't think she gets quite how this is supposed to work. And I could have said something, but it would have just sounded so rude to be like, could you please hold still? You know, I was like, I don't know how to say something without being an asshole. Her boobage starts over here, so we could give her some low cut and give her more fun cleavage. I'm gonna make a separate layer actually for her clothes. I think that'll make more sense. But I'm just gonna use this layer to draw her body. Yaddy. But yeah, this model just, it was like, we literally, everybody in class was like, we can't, like, we had like all of her drawings of her, everybody did were like super shaky. Like nobody could get like a solid like line work or anything. Like, not like, you're not supposed to draw like outlines, but like with the charcoal and everything, you have to draw somewhat of an outline to start off, or at least like, what's it, chiaroscuro or whatever, I can't pronounce the word, but it's just like shading that's like an outline shadow. You follow, I don't know if I should explain traditional drawing, this is a lot, but you know, you get a triangle and you don't, like, you have something that's like a block, you don't draw it as a block, even though you do, like when you first start out, you're given like basic shapes to practice, where you like look at something and you draw all the shading and everything on it, but it's to give you an idea of looking for that within like something like the human body, in the pelvis, for example, or the bones over here when we were practicing drawing skeletons. Oh god, I'm gonna look like I'm drawing a penis. When you're drawing a bone, you are doing this. So you can draw like an outline of it for yourself, but you draw it very softly and you focus on like, okay, this is a ball shape, so I need to shade it where this shading is hitting and make sure it looks like this rounded shape that it is, and see these like long triangles in here, and maybe like the rectangularness of this, like anything like that to help yourself with like the 3D dimensions, like a rhombus or whatever, and help give yourself like shading. This is also a great, like even the bone, human bone is a good example of drawing something like a pair of lips, or an anime, a mouth. But all of that stuff helps you immensely. But yeah, how did I get onto that from hers? Oh, we just couldn't draw even like our simple shapes because she just was moving so much, and I was like, god damn it. I was like, there's plenty of people that have like a different body type in terms of it being a bigger body type that's like an, you know, not what you normally get to see and draw. And so it's just like, it was disappointing, but plenty of people have that body type and had plenty of muscle under it, so I was just expecting that she was, you know, She's just like muscular or just had like some amount of balance. She could not balance herself. I was like, I just don't know why you would sign up for that. She's clearly like getting embarrassed and everything, and I was like, didn't want. I think she had said, she was like, okay, like you can't share these drawings and everything. Normally we don't draw their faces unless it's specifically like a drawing a portrait session, but you don't draw their nude body with their face typically unless you know that they're not going to be recognizable, because you can't draw the portrait that like there's some people that are fine with it, but she was like very like, hey, you can't like draw my face with this. And I was like, and no one was ever gonna be like, you were moving it too much, we weren't gonna be able to draw your face in the first place. Like, sorry. It's a real shame. It's such a good opportunity to be able to give us a chance to draw like fat on a body and everything. And if you draw traditionally, you know how much fun this shit is. Drawing anybody with like a body that's not just like thin. That's normally who's signing up for those classes is somebody who has, again, it's like really doing yoga. Like, yeah, I can stand still. It won't be hard. But God, like when I was getting into college and before I started taking like martial arts or something, I wouldn't have applied, and I was very thin, but like I wouldn't trust that I think I probably could have, but I wouldn't have trusted myself to be able to like hold my body up well enough for that, because I know you have to, like, it can be really tiring because the sessions themselves are like hours long classes, but you don't hold the poses more than like 10 minutes usually. Like the longest you'll get is like 30 minutes. So that's why you pick an easy pose or you lie in your bag, you know? You do like a lying down or sitting pose that you can do for 30 minutes. And then you also get, once you do poses like that, I guess I should put this on close. Once you do a pose that's like particularly long, they give you like a 10 minute, 15 minute break to like stretch and get water and all that kind of stuff. Like it also gives the artist a break because these classes are really long, and usually like at night, because that's the only time they can get people to come in as models, because they're like, you know, they're out of their day jobs. Like our class used to start close to like 8 o'clock. Just like a mandatory art class, and I was like, awesome. Love that for me, who also works all day and everything. Like, I don't think any of the other students in there had a problem with it, but they're just annoyed to be on campus at that late of an hour. But it's just kind of crazy. I don't think I knew of any other departments that did their classes that way, but it's kind of like art. With art, it's your only option. But they also kept the buildings open 24 hours because students would work on their projects so late at night that they would sleep in there while stuff was like finishing, because art is a lot of chemistry going on with it as well. I'm just gonna redraw this. Sorry, could you just fuck off? Thank you. Art school is an interesting place. They will let you make whatever you want as long as you make it well, so people will make, you know, objects that are normally not allowed visibly in places. I don't know how else to put it. Now this is where I'm running into a bit of a problem. I think if I just do something like this, it should look fine. It's funny that like I was saying earlier, there's like little details like that that can really screw with like what you're like when it comes to cartooning or anime style of any kind that's like simplistic in comparison to traditional. And traditional, it's still this way in a sense because people can tell something just doesn't look real enough, but there is problems when it comes to simplicity, where it can be really easy or just stick out to people really quickly that something doesn't look quite right, you know? It's like, I don't know, something about this, like this art looks shitty or whatever, but you can't say exactly like what it is, and it's because you've put a line in the wrong place. Like when it comes to like, let's say I'm showing her shirt curving in, if I do it like this or like this, depending on like how her clothes are laying on her, it could look really off and wrong and just like completely throw the whole thing off. let's ignore that hand while I talk about this. Which, for instance, was kind of what I was dealing with there, where I was like, what should I do? So that's the parts of it that I find harder, because it's these small details. But at the same time, most of your viewer base are not other artists for a lot of stuff, especially people that are buying art from you, obviously. Unless it's like a pre-made thing, usually other people are not like commissioning other artists, unless maybe it's like a specific art style they really like, and they just like, I can't do anything like that myself, and so I'd rather buy it. I don't usually ever hear of artists buying other people's arts, but like arts. But I wouldn't be surprised. Certainly when it comes to like a craft thing, like maybe wood carving or ceramics, anything like that, that's perfectly common for other people to buy somebody else's work in that sense. But like two-dimensional drawing, a lot of the time people just appreciate, but they don't ask for a commission. Anyway, so since most of your audience is not gonna be other artists, the people reading, watching, whatever, they aren't gonna notice those kinds of details. So that's why you oftentimes, if you're somebody who does have like an eye for that type of detail, you will oftentimes see that there's commission artists that like don't, like that have little fuck ups and things. If you zoom in on the image, like they're like, why would I waste time on this for this commission if, like, you know, I'm super busy with all these other commissions, or fucking what is it, like the person who's buying this can't tell, you know? Like that's definitely something that I see a lot. I personally, again, I think it's just, if I want to improve and make my art look the way I want it to look, then I definitely will just, you know, make things more quality maybe than they have to be. But it definitely can be a waste of time, and when it comes to like people wanting their fucking commissions as fast as possible, horny people gotta jerk it ASAP, you know? They really aren't gonna notice certain things, so you do kind of have to make decisions like that too. Like, am I improving? You know, like some people it's like, this is for money, this isn't like, maybe this isn't just ever gonna be for improvement, or, you know, that's just like not what's important to me right now, I'm just trying to make money. There's all kinds of reasons that people do art the way that they do it, or their specific art styles, everything. I think it's interesting, but I also realize that I'm fucking rambling. I'm gonna give a little more weight to the end of this shoe to show that it's the same style as the other one, but not that we're seeing the bottom necessarily. Is this not an eraser? Why is this not erasing? Oh, that's right, it's on this layer. Yeah. Forgot that I made this shoe on the lines layer originally. I'm gonna try to do most of my detailing on the clothes layer in case I want to change something later, but lines again. I'm trying to make it look a little bit more like the other shoe, because these are very rounded. Yeah, okay, so it's not too bad. This will probably just be annoying later on to me if I do change things too much, but I shouldn't have to. Because I'll combine the clothes and the lines layer in the end. Those aren't ones I worry about combining when it comes to, because I'm going to be coloring shit in, will be a lot easier. But I usually keep my face layer separate the whole time. This is on this one. Just wasn't facing. Or it's not. It's partially. Oh god. Might have to combine the clothes and the lines layer a little quicker than I thought. I just wanted her dress to be, like, not drawn on the same layer as her body to make my life a little easier. Even though I'm using vector layers again, it's not a huge fucking deal. But I'm thinking that for the clothes, I probably am going to be adjusting things a lot. Especially because I like her body that's under here that I've made. I may do a little special version drawing of it and do a different outfit. Again, post that on Blue Sky. I don't think anybody, well, for the line work I might have it on here, but I don't think anybody wants to watch me just color shit in. it's not gonna be, you know, something amazing or anything. It's, I do what I do. I don't do just flat face colors, but it's pretty damn close. Like I said, I'm very inspired by 80s anime, so it's not like a shit ton of shading or anything that I'm doing. Like there's shading and highlighting for certain, but I don't think. So what I'm gonna do actually, okay, is make kind of like a nudie version of her with my lines, and then I'm gonna make a lines copy. That will be the one that we combine with the clothes in the end, and I will just have one that's called like nude lines basically. Because that will be for her more fun outfit that I show later. I don't know what blue sky, if it's, because I know it's supposed to be like a, you know, a Twitter not run by a complete dumbass narcissist. But I don't know. Oh hi Foxy, how are you? I just in the middle of drawing this and talking about how I might draw I will absolutely be drawing like more of a hentai porny version of this. Oh, see, I was just talking about college. If you don't mind saying, what are you going to college for? Ah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a more fun outfit. Accounting, oh shit. I had to take a business accounting class in high school and just drove my teacher in there probably, I don't think I drove him to insanity. I just finished all of my stuff super quick because I just like got what he wanted, and I would just leave and go play like I'd go play Halo CE like LAN parties and a class next door because there's another computer room. But I didn't want to take his class, but I ended up having to somehow. I don't even remember. But I made it very, very clear to him that I did not want to take his class. Shit, if I make a nude image for this, should I be fixing that hand? I mean, is it as bad as I think it is? Without the sketch, I think she's a little better. Well, yeah. You can't see it with the oh no! Well, I'm posting it on Blue Sky later, so you will see it, thankfully. I haven't decided exactly what her clothes are gonna be. I'm just... Don't let Twitch know. I'm drawing a little nude version of her right now. Not fully nude. We aren't showing the fun bits just yet. That'll probably be done off stream. Yeah, exactly. You will, yes, that's a big thing, and I do post all of my stuff to YouTube, but with something like a drawing, I was like, I think if I do like a proper drawing, I absolutely would love to just start posting those to Blue Sky so that people can download the PNGs. So I'm not like out here to fucking not share my art with people. If somebody really likes it. I haven't uploaded any of the Inktober PNGs because they've all been like sketches and really fucking stupid sketches at that. I don't know about this bit here, but... Amazing that you want to sit there and listen to my voice. You're very kind, Foxy. I hope class wasn't too fucking awful today. I love learning, but yeah. Okay. Are you driving home? Oh, thank you. Yeah, definitely don't watch while you're driving home. Take it easy. Get whatever the healthiest fast food is you can. I went to the Ren Fair yesterday and fucked my stomach up. Without, like, I was eating, like, the stuff I'm not allergic to and still fucked it up because I ate red meat like an idiot, and I normally don't eat red meat. Thank God I made it home, though, before my stomach felt any problems. I just, like, woke up this morning in pain. Like, what's wrong with me? I think that's a good body. But yeah, just check it out on Blue Sky later, Foxy. I'll catch up with you there. Oh, you're making me want food, and I have all this food sitting right next to me. I ate literally 10 minutes before this stream. Man, these seaweed chips are so good. I know so many of my friends think I'm a fucking freak because not only do I love fishy, like, flavored food, but I love just straight milk. It's so good. I've always loved milk. And you'll never stop me from loving it, okay? I'm like wondering how much of this should I draw when it comes to, I think for her nude body portion, I think this is okay. This gives me a lot to work with. What the hell is this? This gives me a lot to work with in the future for an outfit. I'm not gonna be doing more of a face than what I do today, though. Like that, her face shouldn't change unless I just make it like a little more seductive, but I'll just have a different outfit, like maybe a bunny girl type suit on her instead, but this first one will be very of the time period we were watching. Because what I was saying is Blue Sky, I have no idea how, if they're like Twitter or what when it comes to this. Definitely looks wrong also. I want to combine them, but it's gonna happen later. God. I really am the angry art nerd. I hate myself for even saying it. It's me, that's who I am. Can't stop me once again. I don't like saying those words, actually. Saying you can't stop me sounds really fucked up. Anyway. Hold just a second. I'm thinking. Give me neutroning. Which is this? Oh, this is on lines. Okay, it's like, how did this happen? This must have been from moving over the heel. Because I want her shoes to still be there when I do like the more fun version. But I would like them about how they are now. I'm just thinking if I should save, like I should combine this with clothes here and then make a copy. Because really this is fine. I think I'm gonna do that and then, yeah. I'm gonna have lines, gonna make a copy. Let's name it outfit. Yeah, lines V2. Okay, that should be good. Give me something to work with. Okay, and our initial lines now, I'm gonna just move the outfit lines down here and hide them. Outfit V1. Okay. Now we could obviously be very inspired by our reference image. That's what I was originally thinking of. I really liked it. But I'd like to just do our own little thing here for a moment. Whatever the outfit, you know, covers up, I will be erasing down here, and that's what you'll be seeing more on Blue Sky. You motherfucker. 1 second. This is the problem with not erasing shit before I turn off. Or not erasing shit, like, and saving it. I need to turn off my... should have turned off my sketch before I did this. Because now I'm seeing all of the things that I hate. Just make another copy real quick. It's fine. It's okay. I'm not seeing anything other major besides that. The left hand probably isn't even as bad as I think it is. I just hate it. It's still looking, so this is still looking like it's being covered up by the other finger. That's another main thing I have a gripe with. I just erase some more of this. Looks too thin anyway. Okay, that should be all right. I'm not gonna fuck with it too much. I could make her more of a burlesque girl actually for her second outfit, and do something with like big fans. I think burlesque is a pretty big scene in connection with the drag scene out here where I'm at actually. I'm gonna just make a copy of these and just call it outfit V2. And oh my god, move that down here and delete it. Delete the old one, I mean. That should be good. Alright, let's get into, before I do anything with her face, because there might be additional things happening. What do I want in terms of... I love the movement of this dress. I really do. We gotta do our own style. What is that on my... That's on my screen. Oh, thank god. I just thought there's like a random giant pixel over here. I'm like, no, my screen's just disgusting because I'm disgusting. I The way I drew her bust was also pretty purposeful when it came to drawing something that kind of fit around here. Obviously the burlesque outfit is going to be a lot more burlesque, but we could definitely give her more of a fucking Jessica Rabbit vibe happening. I wanted to give her something that was like low shoulders. Okay. Needs to kind of, yeah. I wanted it to be this flowy fabric. Something a little Disney right there. I'm not positive about that, but anyway. I like the idea of it being connected to this, but just kind of hanging on by a thread over here. Obviously something pretty unrealistic. But we love it. Okay, anyways. This is just gonna be our first idea. We could have it hug her really tightly here. And then maybe it's kind of like a two-piece. Oh my god, we could have her in a fucking like streetwear, like modern day instead of 1920s like this is all based on. We could just have her in like a fucking more of like a hip-hop style dance outfit with like the loose pants or whatever. Or we could do her K-pop style. I was not planning on that though. I don't know. I kind of want to still do a big flowy dress. So obviously showing like the waist would look really cool. And we could have low-rise jeans. Get that fucking thong going over here. We've already got the line for it. Oh my god. Those fucking thongs back in the like late 90s, early 2000s that had the fucking like charms on the back or whatever cracked me the fuck up. They're so goofy looking. I don't want her in full sweatpants though, because we drew some fucking gams on her. So we could definitely do something. It still gives that feeling of that like bunched up material, even though I don't really know how to draw that. I'd probably have to redraw this line. This looks like weird popcorn. Hold on. I'd like the idea of some shorts, maybe. Oh, she could look like that one chick. She was one of the like final bosses in Kenichi. Don't know if anyone knows what that anime is. I think it was definitely like, you know, a little pervert anime, but like so is all anime apparently from what I've learned. Watching it since I was like 10, I was like, huh. We could do something where she has like that girl, she has jeans that are like two different sizes or whatever, like two different leg heights, where one is a short and the other one goes down to here. But I kind of like the idea. This is why I'm not allowed to draw clothes. I make up my own shit and it looks just fucking wild. Okay, something that tucks in closely there. Oh, she is getting the Disney princess look. She's looking like Jasmine a little bit. Thank god. I was like, wait, am I drawing this all on a vector layer? Thank fucking Christ. It'll make my life, again, making my life way easier when it comes to coloring this in as well. Hold on. I need to just erase this little... Where is my vector? God, okay. Make my life 10 times easier, because this needed to start out lower. I don't know, can y'all see me doing my little head tilt? I think you probably can. I don't know why this is the way that I draw. So I kind of want it to come up like that, but then obviously like come outwards, making sense to here. It needs to actually start like here. God, I love vector layers for this shit. Makes everything way easier. Okay. And or way harder, depending. I might actually use this. Not you, Ed. Okay. Do that. And then a little soft eraser. How much do we want to show with that? No, something about this isn't right. This is not quite right also. This doesn't look like, oops. This line back here is not, like, you need it to look like it is gonna go back into the rest of her pants. I don't know, do I want to make her look like she's doing like a Persona groove? You know, like they're fucking, every time they make a new Persona game now, they do like a dancing all night version. Well, when did they start? Was it since the third one, or have they always kind of been doing that? Like, I get why they do it. They clearly, like, must sell well, but it's just kind of funny. We could have this where it's just actually just bunched up material. Oh, this is looking... I'm not trying to give her a camel toe. I meant this more like... trying to show the, like, stretching and the bunching of the material, like those, like, kind of like a harem pant. Because I want this to actually come in more like this. Nope, nothing is erasing that I want to. I need this to go out, but then I want it to go inwards. And come back out, not as much as that does. Showing off, like, this wide, like, width of her leg, but also in a very different pants design. I don't think this quite works. That looks like I'm doing something for Shantae. That's its own art style. Same problem here. Oops. Thought that might do that. It needs to come in, but not, like, so abruptly like that. Okay. And she could have more anklage jewelries happening here as well. She is becoming Esmeralda, I just realized. I only saw the Hunchback of Notre Dame again. God. Very few years ago, let's say. I genuinely do not remember at this point. I was still in college though, so it couldn't have been. I saw that probably like 4 years ago. So it wasn't like, oh god, I'm so confused. Yes, that's how that should look. It's not quite right. Hold on. Yeah, damn. Okay. Needs to be this way, but also needs to squish in quite a bit. The problem is that this could realistically be what's around her ankle in a way, but because this is such a different shape, it throws it off. I'd like that to be thicker than it is, but this shouldn't start up here. It needs to start down here. So this all needs to go. Sorry, y'all. Okay, because this one needs to start lower. Just do that later. I do want it to look like these are held tight to her leg at the bottom. Give it like more line weight though, to show that this is like the edge of the clothes. That's very a lot more of that 80s style, to show like the very outline or the very bottom most of the clothes deepest, or fucking with the most line weight, which I think most people are gonna do with anime style stuff anyway, but certain styles do it more than others. Speaking of Persona, they definitely do a lot of that, playing around as if they don't know what they're doing, having a thicker line weight on like the complete like surrounding side of things. This has become such a different drawing than it started. I might do 3 different outfits for her actually at this point. Good god. Okay. The other problem is here. I still don't like how that looks there, so I'll fix that too. Sorry. I wanted this to come in the way that it comes in there to match up with the style of the rest of the pants. It's just what's happening here. I normally don't have this much trouble drawing anything that comes around, you know, like the body like that. I just don't like what I keep doing, you know. Is that better? Kind of. I wish I could be as good as Tight Cubo drawing fucking clothes on people. I just am not. Weirdly enough. I think so much of my studies of anatomy being nudes is kind of the problem as well, and that was also, again, just what I was commissioned to do for so long. Unless we want to have something like a belt that kind of covers up our inability to draw. Though I think she would be wearing a belt in this style of clothes. I would think that it would be something that hangs a lot lower is the problem. Something more like this. But if we're going for a sexy angle, we don't want to cover up her crotch. I am thinking a little Gerudo like see-through pants as well when it comes to the whatchamacallit, the fucking when I'm coloring this in. So I'm gonna keep all of her lines pretty present, but I will erase them in certain places. I mean, when I put the color on, and I'll make the color just like lighter in general. It'll be a whole process, okay? Don't worry about it. What we can do though is have some more fun with the fact that so much of her leg is open here. We can either give her tattoos, which is I never get to draw characters with tattoos, or we can give her jewelry. Jewelry. All that southern twang. So this is where you wouldn't want a bangle, honestly. But like, that would make life harder. I'm trying to think. I love how clothes look and everything, and I love fashion, but I genuinely like struggle to like remember like what are all the possibilities of clothes when I start drawing them on people. Like again, just not practiced enough. So much of my view of clothes too is growing up with fucking like Final Fantasy. Like Final Fantasy X, they're wearing the weirdest fucking clothes on earth. What layer is this on? Oh, this must be her armpit. It's like, I'm sorry? What is this on? Oh, that's why. I need to turn that off. Jesus Christ. Because that's definitely her armpit coming through that looks really weird there. This part is gonna have to be a lot less visible. And that's okay, because that part is going to be like bunched up fabric is kind of what I was going for. Like it's the same fabric as everything else, but it's what's the word? The style of fabric itself has been kind of, you'll see when I draw it. Jesus Christ. Why do I even try to explain things with words? I'm good at like writing things out, you know, to explain them. But that takes time, and I do things very differently, and I'm not saying it at once. I think explaining something that's like a drawing or something though, like I have to I just have to draw it. There's no way to show you what I'm saying. Especially for most people who are not, you know, they don't know art terms. Like what the fuck, line weight? Like what are you talking about? Also, the boobage. The line weight on boobs is a very, it's its whole other own topic when it comes to importance of line weight and making things look rounder. Rounder. Sorry, I have stupid memes in my head all day long. Good God help me. Making things look rounder in some places, like for the top, having them be much softer. But for the bottom half of things, it creases, having it have a lot more line weight and being darker. That's why having darkness down here, normally what you would do is add just a little bit more line weight on like the very ends of things. But I believe since with this outfit, you would not see almost any of these extra lines underneath. And another good way to make it look like it's see-through but not like your underside of like all your other shit too invisible is to erase it nearest, like the most nearest to the edges of things. Just need to erase most of that in general. A lot of this right here it's not perfectly round. So anyway, perhaps do this here as well. Certain extremities, anything like this also, like her arm that's like kind of getting in the way of showing where this fabric is bunched up, like I can just erase that pretty much completely. That's just not gonna look great. I think it's just barely visible over here is fine though. Well, so far I just realized like, wait a second, I didn't draw the bunched upness of this fabric. The bunched upness, if it comes out of a corner like this, I like to again add that line weight, but it's not quite right for the type of fabric we're drawing. And having it come in at these weird angles also, kind of like this, where it's not perfectly in line. It just looks like fabric that's been kind of rolled up almost. At least in my opinion. But redoing these in different ways, again, kind of like working at it. Be with it. Be like water. He says. in a high-pitched voice because he's just gotten on Mars, taking those pills, but they aren't in effect yet. Sorry, I'm making Cowboy Bebop references. Just ignore me. Let me get out my small eraser real quick. My softer one. This needs to be softer here because that just doesn't look quite right. Okay. You can see already how much more her boobs like have improved just by kind of getting in there with the old soft eraser and making it heavier weights in some places, not so much in others. I think just a little bit. I have a problem. I need to stop messing with things. I will mess with things for way too long. I think it's already, yeah, oh, we've been doing this for almost 2 hours, just the oops. Listen. I'm gonna take my time. Partly, we didn't come up with what we wanted. The other side of things is that I needed to, I needed to finish do all of the line work for her. Okay, reset most, and then I'm just gonna go ahead in here and erase stuff that I know is like, this is how it's gonna look. I can erase it more when it comes to color and everything later on. Our deepest, darkest secrets and shadows in these bands, they will be visible still. Things like this will be very much not visible. I don't know how this is going to turn out in certain areas, so I gotta be careful about erasing that. I can't just redraw something, but it's always going to look better on that first go round. It just becomes really easy to tell when you, like here, you've drawn over a line again, like connecting lines and all that. Same thing with me erasing things, not in a full, proper manner. There are certain areas where we've just got things darker and they need to be erased more. I don't know why I'm not just using a bigger one, because there's not... It's only like down here at the cankles and everything that shit needs to get erased a little more. And obviously, also you can think about places where the fabric would be stretched the most. And so that you would actually, if it's a see-through fabric like this, you would be seeing more. The fuck is this on? This must be outfit. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So if the fabric is especially being like stretched out there or something, maybe you would, it might be a little more see-through with that type of fabric. Oh my god, I saw drag king slash queen, they do both, a friend of mine in this amazing dress that they made. Like, is that fabric from Joann's? They're like, yes. I'm like, I'll be hitting them up soon. I love the fabric that they use. It was just like, and the light hit it so well. And it's just one of those fabrics that's like extremely sparkly without being rhinestoned. And as a drag performer, that's the type of shit that you like and want. I mean, if that's your style, but that's like most drag performers are like, you want something that's eye-catching, you know? Coming out in something that's not eye-catching is not a good idea. Now, there are thicker parts of this fabric, clearly, than others, like over here, that don't actually need to be. They also, that's the other thing to remember if you're doing a fabric that's invisible. There's certain places where, if my lighting's coming from this direction, that fabric is gonna, like, the line weight of that is gonna be a lot lighter. The back of her, not so much, but these lines are just horrible, so I'm gonna, yeah. I'm gonna give some of this some erasage. Oops, I didn't quite like that. Just so that we can also give the impression, like, hey, this is, even though these are the end lines of things and they are the thickest of this is still, see-through fabric, technically. Okay. This is where it would be the darkest, so I'm gonna do like the lightest amount of erasing. think that should be pretty clear to myself later on. The other thing I'm gonna do is add weight to these sides a little bit more, because not only is this the opposite side of where the sun will be hitting her, it is also like underneath her body. That's why I really hesitated here to like not erase it as much. She definitely needs to show, this is where the type of pants this is. This is where that they would be pulling in, but I don't want it to look too strange. You know what would be better? I just had the greatest idea. Oh my god. Because I really still don't like this fucking waistband of that. We are gonna go full Jasmine for a moment and make these some real low riders. Yeah, I could even start there. That actually doesn't look so bad, because I do not want to have these go down much lower, but I do like the idea of, again, like this harem pants style. Okay, just this. Ooh, too big, too big. Give it just a little less in here. You know, we want to be shy and coy about things. Draws interest whenever somebody's looking into this area clearly more than others for whatever reason that may be. Research, as they say. We definitely could drawing the eye there by making it, what's the word? Like more hidden in a way. That can often be more sexual to people, is like not being able to see the thing that they want to see. This does mean I'll have to change a few things. Hold on, there was one thing in here. Yes, this. This needs to be erased pretty much completely. This is gonna be, it's a waistband, so it's pretty damn thick. I will add some kind of like accessory there. I do want, I will need to change where this, what's the problem? How much is this gonna change things? Oh, not much, because it's been so, the soft eraser is kind of fucked up where the vector lines are like thinking things are. But yeah, I need it to kind of happen there, just like slightly above where it was. Damn. Okay. Just gently down here, I'll just do some light erasing. It's not quite right, but hold on. Slack will need to go. Something I need to show this better, but maybe I'll do like the other side where I kind of just let it bend over the edge. Again, this will have to, this whole outline section though, that will have to be done in. Ooh, too much. Thank you, thank you. Okay, good. Only problem with doing things with separate lines is a little bit of confusion sometimes on what lines things on. That one, there is this poof to tuck. I need to master for these pants. Thank God I'm not drawing this character all the time. This is not a real character. If she appears in any comic, it will be just for a little literal Easter egg with this bunny outfit. I'm like, I'm gonna draw a more pornographic outfit and post that later, and I'm like, am I not already kind of having this happen? Dumbass. Just know Twitch is kind of weirdly strict about some stuff. This side I like. I don't know about this part. Damn. It changes up completely, but I kind of like Bart Simpson shorts happening. Just gonna end that there to make my life easier later on. And then take the lines and erase that fully. And go in here. I'm starting to see visual hallucinations. I clearly have not eaten enough. Oh yeah. Last time I ate was 4 hours ago, so I snacked a little here. My blood sugar must be getting really low. Just enjoy the music. I feel like if I continue to do drawings like past Inktober and stuff, because I'd like to, it's fun. This one's not exactly spooky. Maybe I should have given her a spookier outfit, but I feel like okay, what was I thinking? Oh god. Oh, my spooky music. It's too late in the game. I've got like 3 days left of October, so I'm not even gonna try to find like a quote-unquote royalty-free soundtrack. I've had trouble in the past with like YouTube like blocking my videos or like telling me to cut out like 10-minute sections of them because of like I'm playing royalty-free music. It's like, oh, it sounds like, you know, video games, but apparently like somebody's copyrighted one of them, so it's like I need to find a new thing. But they're all really long, obviously they're like 10 hours long. So I won't know until I'm like trying to post the video like a week later after using it. So I'm kind of that's something that always annoys me, is like, well, I know you can't change that, like somebody maybe copyrighted it later, I guess, but it's like, why did it fill up as copyright free? Like, why is YouTube flagging this? But I do, when October's over, I'm gonna have a new one. Let me write that down, actually. I don't forget to do this. It's been on my mind, it's just, you know, I'm a forgetful little fuck. Let me just put a note in here. I've got an idea for a style of music. Obviously, I have like video game soundtracks right now, which I do like, but it's like, I'm not doing gaming right now. Maybe I should change the music for drawing. I was thinking of something that's like Ghibli or like Final Fantasy or something more so. I guess Final Fantasy is drawing. Shit. But something that's, you know, like offshoots it, like stylized like Ghibli music. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic with my pen. EGM. Okay. Just so I don't forget it. I literally, if I write something down, I won't forget it, but I don't have to like look at it again. You know? I don't know why that's the way my brain works. What's the last chip? The last chip. Thank you, Dave, for your sacrifice. Some good shit. I don't have a trash bag near me, do I? Nope. Just hear this rattling around forever. I have nothing to clean my hands on. Okay, let me get up and like quickly get the chip off my hand. I'm not eating with my drawing hand, but still. 1 second. Okay, so I've got a sink in my room at my apartment. It's literally like 5 feet from me. Oh, I forgot you're in here, darling. Oh, you decided that the cushion was too good for you and you just had to lay on my bed, all snuggled in my covers after your walk, yes. Oh, you look so upset. I'm just joking. Come here. Come here. Oh. I can't even like fake it, like, because normally my other dog just is like, I get you're joking, or he like doesn't feel sorrow even if he's done something bad half the time. My little dog, if I even remotely like look at her like I'm upset, she looks like she's just, I don't know how to describe it. She looks like her world is ending. Oh, it's okay, darling. Come here. Yeah. I never raised my voice at her or anything because I know like she's so like I got her when she was a year old. The person before me that like owned her had to like rescue her from him because he was an asshole. He would just scream at her all day apparently. And that's how she was rescued, is because fucking people just reported him for like going outside and yelling at a small chihuahua all day. I was like, well, I don't know what his problem was, but that's fucking crazy. But anyway, I don't know why people do the things they do to dogs, let alone a fucking puppy of all things. Like, it's not even like dog you get, like, you've not trained it. What do you have to be mad at it for? Anyway, she's a very good girl, yes. You're wonderful dog. But like, if we, like, when I first got her, if we even like looked at her remotely, like curiously, like she would take everything as like a hit to her psyche and like just act terrified. She could, again, she's got a shit backstory. I get it, but this poor dog. She'll just crack me up with how upset she looks about stuff sometimes. I was gonna say, I went to wash my hands and I had lit a candle over by my sink earlier. Completely forgot to blow it out before I started streaming. So it's been steadily smelling like pecan pie in my room for like the past 3 hours of me not noticing. Like, I knew it smelled good, but I was like, oh yeah, I light candles all the time. So I thought it was just like the scent was like just still remained kind of thing. Okay, anyway, I want to do more in terms of like accessories over the pants. I'm not positive what to do. She's got heels on. What should we do? I've seen stuff with feathers that looks cool, but I'd rather do all of that with like for the burlesque, I'd rather have like a feather style, you know, or like a peacock feather to get that really cool shape coming off of things. Oops, I saved it instead of pressing Control-Z. I'd rather do something like that for that outfit. This was originally supposed to be like a 1920s flapper, so I was gonna go with something that would make sense for then, and now I'm like, what makes sense for like a modern day Jasmine? Like, what have I done? Like, I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I think I might actually make it so that she's got kind of like these pants where she didn't even cut these were purposely styled this way, you know? To be like have this similar loop at the end as the others. Yeah, I kind of like that shape of it right off. Again, just put some of this here. If I don't have the time to do color with this, I'll be sad, but I'll still upload it and everything. I'll just feel bad. I do want to make multiple outfits and color them all in, but I have no reason to, and I have no time or energy to, especially with Halloween coming up. But like I said, we could just continue this past Halloween, and we could continue this for the rest of Inktober, even though I'd like to draw new drawings. This was supposed to be for this particular game, so I think, you know, my last game that I'm gonna play, I do need to start that on tomorrow's stream, so I will be playing Yomawari tomorrow. And I already drew, I did already draw myself as like one of the secondary characters for that game. So I will say, there's definitely fucking, I can't think of words, oh god. Let me just put in cup 2. I need sugar. My brain can't function without sugar. Oh no. Eating that jjajangmyeon or whatever, whenever I finish streaming, I get heavy ass udon type noodles on my stomach. Banana pudding. Banana pudding. That's the song that she's dancing to right now. Banana, banana, banana pudding. Put it in your mouth. Just like that. Banana pudding in your mouth. I'm sorry, I'll have to hear my horrible singing voice. I know I'm toned up. Oh, but that's good. I'm an adult, so this is gonna take like 5 bites to finish. It won't be long, I'm sorry for all the weights I'm eating. just literally have horrible problems with my blood sugar. Like, it can cause me more trouble with my disability for sure, but like that's probably one of the number one reasons that I'm having like seizures nowadays right now is low blood sugar. Other than like not getting enough rest, but you have to sleep so fucking much with epilepsy. Like, I remember my doctors being like, technically it's 8 hours minimum, which I've never gotten in my life. I am a chronic fucking insomniac. Just never get even 8 hours of sleep. And I'm like, oh good. She's like, well, technically we're supposed to say 8 hours, but really it's more like 12 hours. Like 10 to 12 hours a day. She's like, you should definitely be like taking a nap if you can. I'm like, I swear all I fucking do right now is sleep. I have 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours at night. At night that I'm operational for. We're on hour 3 of the stream. This is mostly what my problem is just needing to like eat a lot or eat sugar. Exercise has helped me with like at least not eating too much, like for my body to actually need in terms of like calories every day and weight gain and everything. But it's just still really annoying because I'm like, if I don't eat like at least something small like every 3 hours or 4 hours usually, I will start like passing out. Like I've passed out many times. Okay, sorry, I forgot we were doing her shoes. I love the idea of a cute little button for her 20s flapper get up, which it would have to be bigger. But for this, that is an absolute no. Because I think it should match with whatever's on here. Nowadays it would be something that's kind of almost like a bull ring. Why is my pin so thick? Oh, that's just me. Like pressing down hard as hell. It would be something that's kind of like this. Or even like I don't know why I'm not using the ellipsy tool. Or like a jade ring. I like the idea of that, like holding it all together. I wanted it to be more detailed, but at the same time, there's no reason for me to waste time on doing that. Like, I was like, what am I doing? Oh shit, I should have done these on different layers. Oh well. I wanted it to be, yeah, kind of like this shape, like where it wasn't a perfect circle though. Okay, alright, let's go. Okay, that's literally, that's it, that's what I wanted. Okay, well, I would like to put more in. Maybe I could give her a little more JoJo, like, chain looking, but I don't want it to look too, I don't want it to look like a chain. I was gonna say, I don't want it to look, again, I feel like I somehow keep ending up drawing balls every time that I'm streaming. Like, I like the idea, I love chain belts when I'm in drag. That's like one of my favorite things. Maybe I should just draw the inner circles first. But I wanted it to be kind of, you know, not perfect circles, that's what I'm trying to say. No. I might just have to go with something simple for now and figure it out later. Now, how would I draw this? I think kind of like that, and then tilt it for this? No. It needs to be a lot bigger, that's for sure. This needs to be a smaller version. That totally makes sense. This is my problem with doing it. This is the thing with ellipses, doing it on another layer. It's just 10 times better. Really not a great way to do it otherwise. There we go. It's very simple. It's not as cool as if she had sneakers, but I was absolutely not planning on drawing her outfit the way that I drew it. I might do like a different style. Fuck. Oh, these are lines. Yeah. And this is, yeah, I have to figure. Something like that, but it looks like it could be a pearl instead of a ring. Shit, that's because I did this wrong. I need to show that the shoe is still visible underneath. Yeah! Okay, time to copy that just as shittily over here. Nope, I turned that wrong at the last minute. I'm just gonna have to fucking... It's the only other problem I have with the ellipses tool. You like can't quite, like, you have to be pretty practice with it to know exactly where it's gonna end up, and even then you usually have to make adjustments because it's a fucking... You know, if you're making a perfect circle or an ellipses, either way, you just are gonna have to make fucking adjustments. Oops. Just trying to shrink it down. What am I doing? Just do it fucking where it's perfect. I have the ability to do that. Okay, how... Okay, way more. Way fucking more. Clearly needs a lot more space in between. I do love something where it's like thinner on top and thicker on bottom. That's what I was originally thinking of. It's kind of that way. Oops. So I like that. Go with that. With this. Oh. Thank you. I'm just gonna have this cut through here. Nope, not quite right. Let me do it from this angle since this one's already closer. And I do want it to cut through at a lower angle. Could use the tool for this, like a non-idiot. Oh dear. What has happened to me? Okay, the only problem is it'll look really obviously fucked up if this and that don't match up. They actually... Do they match up? They're very close if not. Hold on. Where's my fucking vector? Oh! Vector. Oh god. Sonic Heroes, Vector, and Charmy the Bee. Definitely the most annoying voices in that game. And Knuckles saying "shit rock" never gets old to me. He just basically every time he plays Knuckles, it sounds like he's saying "shit rock, shit rock." Like when he's punching, I don't know what he's supposed to be saying. Oops. But it absolutely sounds like he's saying "shit rock" every time. Why are these lines appearing when I'm erasing? Okay. Whatever, that's good enough. Okay. We're getting our idea down of what we want. Yes. Should I do much more? Again, this is just outfit 1. This is our chillest outfit. I don't think I'm gonna do a ton more to this. I'm just gonna now do her face. I am going to make a separate one for a hair layer as well. Should the hair be on top or bottom? I mean, it's just lines, so... But the hair and the face, I'm making them separate so that I can apply them to the other one as well. I'd like to finish one eye and then just copy it over and twist it. Make my life simpler. We all know that we need for an eye is a pupil. But we want her to look... she's not terrified, so we need to make that like a big pupil. One thing. And I will use the color section to color in her eye. The other problem is to make it look like she's looking at you, she needs to be almost looking down, but not too down. Like she needs to be looking right on at you, but for some reason I always struggle with like feeling like my pupils aren't right. Like she looks like she's wigging out, she's tweaking. But if I make it too tiny, it looks like she's scared. I mean, drawing eyes, traditional style, I'm great at it. I love drawing. They feel quite easy, actually, weirdly enough. I think that'll work if all of this is like black in here and the rest of it is the highlights, lowlights, and all that shit. What would I mean actually real quick on a color layer? Because coloring it in on a vector layer is ass. What have I got it on? Apply to connected pixels, please. What am I doing? Must have been selecting a color layer earlier. The last time that I used that. Ooh, what is this thing flying around me? It is a piece of costume. Yes, wrong color. So if I had something like this, per se, the only difference, of course, would be that the color of this would cover this, or we could just go to her face and erase this, which I'm not going to do completely. I'm just going to show you what it would... Wait a second. Is it actually covering up that much of the socket here? That doesn't make sense. Hold on. No, it's not. I knew it wasn't. should be like all of this should be erased. Yeah, oh, it's because it's visible on the color. Okay. Because I'm gonna need all of that to still be visible here in a second whenever I transfer it over here. So, like, this is pretty much... Okay. Thank you. Thank you. This would be what it would look like. Minus the underside also coming through. I don't know if I like that style eyeball. It's not bad or anything. This is normally, like, very much what I draw my eyeballs like. I just wanted to do one of those, like, sexy anime eyes, and I don't really know how to do those quite right. But they're like the ones that they always draw in the, again, not content. What's it called? So let's see, concept art for Final Fantasy, where they draw them very like angular and kind of more like this, and give them that cat's eye look. I mean, I could just use this, but you know what I mean, where they look like they're looking down at you, but they look sexier than anything I'm making. Adding line weight to the pupil is a choice, but it can be a good choice if you know what you're doing. You're really trying to draw some, whatchamacallit. Fucking... God, yes, I do need to go back to bed soon. Oh god. Like I said, I'm still really tired from the Ren Fair. What was I even saying? Oh no. Oh, if you're trying to show that somebody's like maybe in the dark or something, so there's like a really specific highlight and everything else is completely black, or there's just like you use like a slightly dark, like slightly lighter than black, like blue or something, you know, or red even, that shit can look really cool. This is kind of like that's what I think of like when they, like a lot of the times, either that or the lines are really thin. When I see in manga that's like a much more like somehow, I don't know what other word to use, but like a sexualized eyeball, or like this is the eyeball of like a very pretty person or something, you know? I would definitely take out some of this. This was a little too thick down here. But these are from people who draw this style and, you know, aren't me, basically. I like these. I am working on making a different, because I don't want to have too much of like same face syndrome. Even though I like it in Dragon Ball, I want to have some of that element and like, again, like a recognizable art style for my comics. But there are certain characters that I have in them that like need to have this style of eyeball. The other thing is where to make them look slightly three-dimensional. Because I like this bit here. Like, obviously I drew it there. I do like showing... more so you would see this visible from, like, the side if somebody was looking on, like, this direction. These can really help make it look three-dimensional, and, like, that eyeball is, like, in the place... Oh, Jesus. That eyeball is in place of, like, where it needs to be. Like, having this really helps. Because everything's so 2D. And then having, like, maybe a curved brow or something, or just... something like this. This is maybe a little more Ghibli. Not that smile, but you know what I'm saying. Like this kind of face more so, and that like big ass ears and everything, and then the wide, big ass forehead. I'm going for that in my comic a little bit more so when it comes to doing an 80s style. This would be like a bang, then you'd have like side hair. You have the bigger rest of the head, like the fucking... the 80s anime is wild sometimes in terms of how big they make things, but I really, again, I fucking like it. Sorry. And then the other thing we can do here with this is have something like this if we wanted to show makeup. Give a bit of an eyelid. And show things also like, oh, they've got thick-ass lashes, you know? And make these parts thicker on the bottom and still have that little lid visible, or we can completely color this in and actually erase some of this to follow that same shape along here. that's a whole different style of eye, but just with like some minor changes. This, I feel like I'm getting almost into the same exact eye I did. Oops. But yeah, like, so stuff like that can really change things, obviously. And I was thinking of doing something more like that for here, but the problem is that these masks are not exactly, like, this is a wide circle, so it's better for showing that off in a way. But I don't know, let's give it a shot real quick. Let's put in this eye, let's throw him in the game real quick. Oops. Sorry. Excuse me. Vectoring can be hard. This is also an interesting thing I've seen people do before when they're trying to show that an eye has lashes coming out, like, in this direction in the front, just kind of on my VTuber model, actually. And then they take a soft brush and then they erase just like a highlight into it, almost. And that way you still get, like, part of the lash being visible, like, almost as if it's coming out towards you. I'm not good. I'd never do this, so this is not something I would do. But, oops. God damn it! Now that I did that, second, just do this again. But something like that, where maybe it's just like a slight, like a little one before these all start to curve up. That can absolutely work. I can see that working. For me personally, I mean, in terms of like how I'm drawing all of this right now. Let me get this back to layer and just get rid of those. Well, not the end one. Because I would rather place these more purposely. This was like a really quick sketch. Because if you've got these coming forward, then you wouldn't want these showing up, going upwards until a little after it. For sure. So I would think maybe even this guy is a little too close to them. Totally depends on how much makeup you think the person's wearing and all these other aspects of that character's design and your own style. You keep saying. Okay, go back to this. I noticed I fucked that up. Alright, I'm gonna actually make this over here before I move it over there, which may be stupid, but I think that's gonna be easiest for me to conceptualize it that way. Take something like this, or is that they're looking up too much? No. See, doesn't this look evil? I can't use this fucking. I hate that you can't use the fill tool. Oops. Just gonna see, you can fuck it up so easily if you try to do it on the same thing. What if I had it something like this? Another way you can also make it look a little more sexualized is if she's almost jeering. This is something you would use with a smile, perhaps, as well. Oops. Is showing a bit of the cheek coming up. By either erasing it, or in this case what we did was actually just draw a line over it. You definitely want to use a lot of soft erase here, in my opinion, so that it doesn't show up too strongly. But you still get the idea that there's like a smile going on under this in a different way. Or maybe they're laughing at you. This almost looks evil, actually. This is definitely like the eye of some bitch. Like it's giving that for sure. In classic anime, this is not like a nice person's eye. Oops. Made that a little too small. And that was the other reason why I was drawing this over this originally, is because, yeah, this just doesn't, even in a vector layer, the amount that I had to shrink it down to show the details, it's not even showing all the details that I want. Like, it would have to be so fucking insanely small. This is not the style of eye, but we can work off of something like this for it. Showing this along with the cheek of, like, if this was like her actual cheek and having her eye would match up would be really funny. let's see, something like that. And then we take our vector eraser, just erase everything that falls outside of this. It's not horrible, but it's not. I think it works quite right. Yeah, no. Okay. Let's fucking do that. Oops, I forgot that gets rid of her mouth. Forgot that I put this on the same layer. I don't know why. Mostly everything else is done. So this outfit. So I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I'm just gonna try to get this eye done really quickly because I'm feeling my age. I'm feeling something. And the winds. This, and then we're gonna be looking like she's looking at us. Kind of important to me. What I typically do is take thick lash, and then it curves up like this for mine. Curves up and then out, and then I color that in. This goes there at all. I don't know why I'm doing that like that. Smaller. It doesn't touch the eyeball at any point, this bit. It just goes out kind of thin, and then I have a line at the bottom. It's very light. That's my line that I use to also show cheekage and such. And this goes out in a more specific way as well. But that's not going to work for this. So I think if anything, we could use this. But I feel like it might take away from the actual shaping of the mask looking really interesting. So that's why when I first drew it, I tried to like show as little of that as possible so that I could really show off the shape of the mask's eyes themselves and have her eyes be really big. Yeah, because I don't like that shading with it. Okay, sorry, I'm redoing this so many times. I'm very picky about my eyes and faces because I feel like I don't draw them very well. Bothers me. Yeah, like what else would we really show in here? If it's just this, it's just this. I'll go ahead and do the black on here. That might actually be easier for us later when it comes to the line work. And just use... Can I use this hard eraser without fucking things up? Nope. I don't know why some... on the vector layers, the hard eraser works like it does on like a vector eraser works. See, look at that shit. It's fucking me right up. I'm just gonna erase as much as I want to erase with the soft here. I'm gonna have to go back in with my pen because otherwise it's not gonna work. I do want those to be like heavy, what's the word? Really strong highlights in there, but not odd. She's terrified. Like, look at this. That's not right. God damn it. Like I said, I would draw an eye outside of it, but the style of eyes that I draw, I just don't think it would work. I might just do something where I color it in on the color layer and work with it that way. I might have to just do that later on off stream since I'm not feeling well. Oh, can you just erase the part that I... Yes, thank you, thank you. I'll give her a not mascara, eyeshadow. I want to do something like this. Show more of the makeup. Just don't want to fuck up the shaping of these eye cutouts on this. Anyway. Let me take this for now. I may completely change it later. I don't know. Best thing we can do is have this look very similar, but also we need to flip it horizontal in its own way, don't we? For the... No. It has to be flipped this way so it looks like she's like in the same direction, but we have to change the highlights. Which is fine, because they wouldn't naturally be the same anyway. I hate this fucking box around everything. I know that it's necessary, but god damn it. this in. Sometimes it is easier to just... Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have erased it. I should have done it in white, because one, I would get the actual shapes that I wanted much faster. That's on a vector layer. And two, that means any background color wouldn't get fucking put over it. I don't know what I was thinking. There we go. Now that's covered in white. It shouldn't get fucked up by me putting a background layer. Let me just double check. Okay, some of it is not fully white. And the rest of this. Because I will do some kind of background, even if it's just a simple color. And like her shadow, I mean, as well, but... Okay, and this should be all good. Yeah. Alright. For now, this is fine. I would prefer her eyes look cooler, or maybe if I just completely took them out of the equation. I don't know. Like I said, her face is on a separate layer for a reason. The coloring is where a lot more of designs will come through. I wanted to make it like that. Like this one that I found that was so neat. I might do something like that, but only in the color, because I feel like if I do too much of the design, like drawing it here, the lines are gonna actually work against me unless I make them very light. Oh, you know what I did forget? To actually give her some bones. One of the most important bones, in my opinion. Because I broke mine growing up, and it's clearly not healed correctly. I don't have like major problems, it's just like one arm that I noticed is definitely different when I do certain moves in martial arts. And then also, like I just can't do them like as fast. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, this is that arm, and this is like, it's requiring my shoulder to like collarbone area to like move a certain way, so it kind of like stutters. But, what is it? This is her, maybe it's her tits are off, but like this should be shifted over a little bit and maybe more curving this. And then, thank you. Other thing, sometimes with collarbones, they are gonna match up to which way the arms are moving. So like if the bicep is here, technically the collarbone should be like this, even though this is in a style that's unrealistic. So it can be really hard because they should merge around the same place, but the ending should kind of fade off towards where your shoulders and everything are starting over here. Okay, what do we think? It's certainly not horrible, but it's not my best. Oh, I forgot her hair. What did we want to do for her hair? For this one, honestly, I felt kind of like a ponytail for this. I don't know. Oh my god, let's just give her fucking Jessie from Team Rocket. Never mind, this is just Jessie from Team Rocket now, officially. She got the tits. Oh my god, this is insane. I remember seeing her hair as a kid and being like, wow, that's a choice, that's wild. But drawing it out now, I'm like, they were really fucking crazy for that. Because there's no, like, I don't know what real hairstyle they're basing that off of. And it's not even like a classic anime hairstyle that's like impossible to do anyway. It's not like, you know, that you have like Yu-Gi-Oh hair and shit like that was like, yes, for the time there was a lot of very like unique hair going on. But at least like spiky haired guys being the main character is like a common trope in shonen and everything. This was not a common trope in anything, and it hasn't been since. So I just want to know what they were thinking. Also, she is dancing, so maybe something that's short and kind of flares out. Oh, but I don't want it to cover anything on her face. I like long hair is fun. I have curly hair myself, though I love seeing that represented in anime and manga when it's represented well. This is cracking me up. This is a good, is this Dixie Kong or whatever? Or that was a name choice they made. Dixie Kong that has this kind of like ponytail. Whereas hers like a little more shorter. Or did she have pigtails and use those to fly the way that Diddy Kong used his tail? I can't remember. Or was she the only one that could fly because of that hair? I don't know. She does have bunny rabbit ears, so I'm wondering if maybe like you could do hair that kind of matches again, like having a similar shape. Oh, this looks like that girl from Danganronpa or whatever. That didn't turn out right. Or she could be Misty with this single pigtail. God, Misty. And at least that was a thing. That was a thing 10 years prior to Pokemon, what is it? Juniper? What was the first season called? Like was it Juniper? It was something weird like that. Anyway, I don't know what the hair. I don't know what hair to do for her. I would like to show a little bit of hair in a sense, but if I do make her more like she's like, you know, like this mystical creature kind of idea, and I hide her eyes, she might not have hair either, or it'll be like, it will be some Pokemon ass, weird ass hair. Like this hair. I'm sorry, I'm getting, this is my time of night. My body's shutting down. It's like, listen, you could put more food in me, but we're getting tired. You're gonna act like a complete fool, which is not abnormal for me when I'm in a perfectly good condition. Oh, maybe something kind of fire-like? Are those, oh no. She's actually a snail. These are her real eyeballs. That's disgusting. I hate snails. They're so nasty. If you don't know, all parasites come from snails and slugs. That's the only way, like, that's not where they come from, but it's how they can get into humans. That's the only way that they can get into humans, is if they go through a snail or a slug's body first. Like, for their gestation period, to become an adult that can actually infect a human, they have to go through that first. I'm just having fun drawing hair now, I'm sorry. I don't know what to give her. Good God, someone help me. Okay. What is a real hairstyle that you could give a person? We're not seeing the back of her head enough, I don't think, that you would see where something starts is the other problem, so I'm kind of having... Well, no, this could work. Maybe her little Shantae look. Again, I don't know how I got into, like, Shantae style, like, clothing and parts, and then mix it, like modernized it. Maybe that's her. For now, I think this is the sketch. The sketch. I think this is the drawing. This has become a full-on drawing. I normally give some more wave, like stuff showing up in the hair. But I said I am getting a little tired. And things are happening with my brain that I am out of control of. Maybe something kind of coming out. I just want to show the movement of her hair. Ooh. Did not have that come back in properly. You have to cover up the line, like for these cross sections, like that is how I have mine set up. No, I hate that. God, no, it's awful. And this also looks like it's just veiny ass hair. I'm gonna leave her hair like this for now. That's what it's gonna be. Okay? She's simplistic. She's a simple woman who's doing a 1920s jig, dressed like Jasmine that won't be well, she was already invented, but won't be drawn in that clothing style for years. Oh god. And she has Dixie Kong hair. And a bunny rabbit mask. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Totally makes sense. Oh god. Okay. It's almost 4-hour stream. Fine. I ate things. I'm definitely gonna go eat a bigger, heavier meal so that I don't feel awful in the morning. And I will either be continuing to color this in tomorrow's stream after we do Yomawari for at least 2 hours. I don't know how long, it's the second game, so I don't know how long it is. The first one's pretty long, but we also didn't have as much time, I think, to do that one. So if I have the energy after Yomawari, I'll definitely keep working on this on stream. So I just noticed something. I should not be allowed to look at my drawings after I set my pen down, should I? Like that, I just looked over and saw that. This is it. I'm gonna minimize this window. Y'all can see it, I can't. I get the lovely Elvira, who actually has some similar eyes to what we're drawing. But yeah, I will keep working on her just because I already drew something for Yomawari, and you'll see it in the thumbnail and everything. And that was like a decently time spent drawing. So I'll just keep working on Bunny Girl. Normally this stuff doesn't take me this long, it's just because I'm doing a stream with it and talking, so I can't fucking focus without my focusing music, which is like video game soundtracks, because I'm that person. But good night to everybody who's watching the drawing. You will be seeing her again in your future dreams. Happy nightmares.